We begin with an update on the migrant boat tragedy off the Greek coast. Hours after alarm was raised in the National Assembly over Greece boat tragedy, Pakistan's Federal Investigation Agency team has set up a 4-member team to track down human traffickers responsible for putting the citizens aboard the boat carrying close to 600 migrants from Egypt, Syria and Pakistan. Now, according to reports in Pakistani media, the boat was carrying up to 400 Pakistani citizens, out of which around 298 are feared dead, and their bodies are yet to be accounted for. Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has so far confirmed 12 out of the 78 survivors are Pakistanis. Now, according to testimonies of survivors to the Coast Guards, the Pakistanis were forced to go into the lower deck, with women and children effectively locked up in the hold, while other nationalities took the top of the deck, where they had a far greater chance of surviving a possible capsize. Witnesses also said crew members mistreated the Pakistani nationals when they tried to escape to higher decks. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has paid tribute to the deceased citizens. Questions are being raised on the role played by the Greek government. The Greek government claims that no help was sought by the migrant boat since it was headed towards Italy. But some social workers and activists insist the migrants sent distress calls for help, as the travelers or the trawler engines had failed days before it sunk. But the Greek government intentionally ignored migrants' SOS calls. This yet again raises questions regarding the lack of any support system for desperate migrants. The tragedy highlights the helplessness of Pakistani citizens struck by destitution, desperation and despair back at home, looking for a better life aboard a rickety boat and their lives ending stranded in the middle of the sea. We are now being joined by Omer Altaf for more details on the migrant deaths. Omer is live from Islamabad. Omer, welcome to the program. There are claims and speculations doing rounds on social media in Pakistan that over 300 Pakistanis might have drowned. The Prime Minister did send out a tweet on the tragedy. The number of actual Pakistani migrants on the ill-fated boat has not been confirmed. What are the Pakistani authorities saying at this moment?
No, thank you for having me. It's a very sad news to emerge this weekend of so many people dying and a large number of them being Pakistani nationals. There are reports that there were 400 Pakistani nationals on board and only so far 12 have survived. So the death count is expected to rise, and it is very unfortunate news. And human trafficking is rampant in Pakistan. It's been going on for years and years, and now when the economy is under serious pressure, the government has not been able to revive the economy, this current government, over the past 1 year or so, and the country is teetering on the verge of default. So a lot of people are just want to escape and even put their lives and their children's lives in harm's way just to go out of the country. So this is very unfortunate. The authorities need to crack down on human trafficking. And
talking about human trafficking, Omer, what is the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and his government doing about this? Because this has been an ongoing issue for the past 1 year.
Yes, the economy is in doldrums. They haven't really been able to figure out a way or even get the IMF negotiations back on track to do away with the uncertainty there is. And so obviously the poor people have no option but to rely on these illegal agents and who promise them a good life, a better future, and they risk their lives in crossing the sea, and just their aim is just to get to Europe, where they can maybe find a better future for their families and children. But this is what happened, and this has happened not for the very first time. It happens quite frequently, and now Pakistani authorities need to obviously crack down on and the institutions here need to really see and find ways to curb this problem. But the role of the Greek authorities has been very questionable. The Greek Coast Guard and the way this trawler was being maintained, the engines, there are reports that the engines failed. So even if on a human level, you don't put people in paging ships which really can put people in, which can jeopardize their lives. This is just absolutely horrendous, the way they were kept in appalling conditions, particularly the Pakistani migrants. So
Right.
I think the Pakistani Foreign Office should take this issue up with the Greek authorities and see.
Actually, talking about that and also the reaction of the Greek government towards this tragedy, is there a special team or contingent from the Pakistani authorities that has been sent to Greece to oversee the rescue mission? Do we have any information about that?
Not yet, but it's going to happen. It's a very unfolding story. It's with so many casualties and the death count expected to rise, I think the Pakistani Foreign Office needs to get its act together and see how the Greek authorities are carrying out the rescue mission, trying to recover the bodies, and then the whole process of identification and repatriation. So it's going to be a huge logistical challenge, and the Pakistanis and the Greeks need to come together and see how this huge tragedy has happened, how can the bodies be repatriated to the home country.
All right, we'll have to end that discussion here. Live from Islamabad, I've been talking to Omer Altaf. Omer, thank you very much for talking to WION World is One today.
Thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.